Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. Gung Guns here, rocking the beard and fully embracing 2025 like a perfectly rolled crit. Today's video is the first of a two-part series where we dive into the best pals to use at your base. I'm talking about the best passives, I'm talking about the best pals for each job to make your base as fully automated as possible. I've been playing Palworld since it came out and even in beta, and let me tell you, the lineup for the optimal pals hasn't changed much until the Faybreak update dropped and flipped everything around. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's take a look at the top pals and passives that will turn your base into a finely tuned machine. If you are looking for people to play Palworld with, why not join the Mando community? We got our own server where you can team up, trade, and conquer together. Plus, after the new year, we're kicking off an epic Nuzlocke challenge. And guess what? You're all invited. All the details you need will be in the description of this video. All right, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate every single one of you. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And hey, drop a comment below letting me know what pals you're using and your thoughts for the best base setup. I'd love to hear from you. Now, for the first part of the series, we're keeping things normal. This is for the everyday Palworld player, those who aren't spending weeks breeding hundreds of eggs just to get that one perfect working pal. You know, the folks who just want to make their base functional without going full mad scientist. The last episode in the series will cater to the absolute lunatics who are like me, who are about breeding the perfect pal for the maximum efficiency. But today, we're going to keep it simple, streamlined, and sanity friendly. Let's dive in. All right, let's kick things off. So right off the bat, and again, I put them all in 23, I believe, just to show you this. You are going to need 2 ice pals for cooling. You're going to need one for your food, and you're going to need one for your crusher. And I recommend the Jolthog Christ and the Bastingore, because this actually has a for cooling. Now, as you see right over here, for my food, just because I have the little guy in there, he doesn't, pet thing is such a big thing in this game. He doesn't get in the way of the other pals eating. And as you see right here, I can keep all my food, and it'll be here forever. And it's never going to spoil. It is going to spoil, but eventually thousands of hours from now. So again, you definitely need 2. And then for the other one, as you see right over here, I have my crusher, and this is how you're going to get your pallium fragments, and there's all these things. You definitely need a good pal that's going to be in there to do all the cooling. The more cooling, the better. I really like that Bastingore is not as big as the other guys, so it gives that 4, which is perfect. So these are my 2 recommendations for cooling. Definitely recommend, and let's go back to 23. Definitely recommend the Jolthog Christ as well as the Bastingore. Now, when you put them in your base, make sure that you have one of these attached. And again, I really do like these. The little podium you can have with the work preferences, as you see right here. I just have them on cooling for both of them, and then I'll assign one to the cold food, which has to be the Jolteog, and then for the refrigerator, I will assign the Bastingore, and you'll see him go over there and do his thing. Again, this is my recommendation. Let me know what you guys think. Let's move on. All right, and the next one we're going to get into is the planting and gathering for all your food, all your things in there. For the longest time, Lylene has been the pinnacle. As you see, she has 4 planting and 2 gathering. She will take care of your entire base if you have 1 or 2 of these on there. And as you see, apart from my ice pals, because I don't think we really need it, for all my other pals, I actually bred the 4 best passives. I do work slave, artisan, remarkable craftsmanship, and serious. I mean, this gives you like 200% something of work speed, which is just crazy, right? However, things have changed now that, with this new expansion. Pernalia is really good, even though she has 4 planting and 3 gathering. The reason for that is because I condensed her to level 5. On top of that is when Pernalia's when she's in your base, she increases the harvest. I actually have a video in my channel. You can see how much it increased it by almost 50%. is how much it increased just by having her at your base. And she does everything that the other one can do. She even also has medicine production at 4, which we will use both for. So as you see, this is a perfect pal to use. I definitely recommend Pernalia over the other one. And if you can condense it to 5, I mean, it's going to be really fast. The other one that's been doing really well, and I actually do not have this one bred, this is what I'm doing today. I'm going to breed this one with the best passives. This one as well, while at base, Lulu fills the farm with good spirits, increasing growth rate of crops. I actually did test this on another account that I no longer can play. Let's leave it at that. And she also produces it at almost 50% more crops. So I think, in my opinion, you should also, condense this one to planting 3 and gathering 2 by, getting her to 5 and then doing a combination of 2 Pernalias and 1 Lulu. And I think if you can do that in your base, you will be perfect. So until I get Lulu fully condensed, I will be using these 3 right here for now, just because it is a little easier. And again, for them, I only don't, so let's actually go up here so I can show you what I do with these 3. So I do the work preferences. I pretty much take out the handling on all of them, and then I will put the rest of these in here, just like so. All right, let's move on to watering. With the Faybreak update, there's some changes have been made. Before, Germantide was the only PAL that had 4 watering, and this is what everybody used at their bases. And if you didn't want to use this one, there was that little snake-looking dragon. If you give me a second here, I'll find it. Right here as Azurobe. This is what everybody else used, unless, because the other ones would get stuck. They would either use Azurobe, or, if their base was pretty good and, you accounted for the big pals, everybody literally used Germantide because he had 4 watering. However, with the Faybreak update, Phalaris Aqua, which is a flying burst, it's never going to get stuck. This one also has 4 watering, which is just fantastic. Again, I just used 2. That's all I really needed. And if I were to go up here again, right here, I will just, I will just make sure that I have them watering and nothing else, because we'll have somebody else for that. But I only needed 2 in my base. I didn't really need 3. These 2 were plenty, enough for the watering that I needed, which was, which was great. Let's move on. All right, and then let's move on to the energy or the electricity. I just used 2 basic Ozerks. I really didn't see that I needed more, because even though I could have bred the best passives on them, they just did the job and I had them all done. However, things will actually have an update on this for the crazy version, but for now, just find 2 of them and put them in your base, and that will be enough energy to cover everything. Again, they both have 4 electricity. Just make sure that you go up here and you take off everything else, because these guys, for some reason, the transporting is what I noticed is has been taking pretty much control over everything else. So or priority over everything else. So I turn off everything, and then I also go in here and I just put both of them. I assign them to the large generator. And just between them 2, there is always enough power to make sure that this entire base is full. What you could also do is, if you want a little bit more power, you have a couple more minutes, you can tie them or breed them with Nocturnal so they never sleep. Again, I will have an update this in the Lunatic version that's coming up later this week. We're actually going to use a different PAL that is Nocturnal, and it's going to produce even more electricity. Let's move on. All right, let's move on to the Kindling. Now, as you see, I actually use Ragnarhawks. I use 2 of them with all the good passives for them, and they have 3 Kindling. The reason that I use the Ragnarhawk, it's a bird, and it's a smaller bird, and 3, they really don't get stuck and pathing at my base. Now, there are others, like for example, if I go over to one of these German tides. Like this has a 4 kindling, but just like the other, the other problem that I had with German tide, these are so big that they will actually get stuck a lot of the time, and they'll just be stuck in a wall or something, and they'll never get the job done. So I personally go with the Ragnarhawks, 2 of them. I actually needed 3, but I have a little trick with that. So I use 2 of them for now with the best passives. And again, the same thing is I go up here, and then I will just make sure that I turn off everything for them apart from the kindling. And then between them 2, I have enough for kindling for right now. Okay, then I have a trick because you actually need 3 at your base, but I have a trick for that I'll show you here in a second. Let's move on. All right, let's move on to mining. Now, as you see in my base, I not only have stone, but I also have sulfur, I have coal, and then finally, I have ore, as you see right here. So I am constantly having these guys or these pals, do the mining for, what is needed. So you need quite a bit of them. So I found a little trick that works perfectly. Now, let's go back to 23, and I'll show you what I do here. Now, out of all the pals, I personally prefer Naklam. Naklam has a 4 mining, as well as 4 carrying or transporting. The other one that I use is Blazimuth, and that's also because he has 4 mining. However, these are kind of both good, but I use them for in a specific way. So this is what I do here. So I use 3 Naklam, as you see. Let's move one right here. So these 3 Naklam will take care of a majority of the work. I also use 1 Blazimuth. The reason for that is I actually use this Blazimuth as a fire pal because it's 3 kindling and 4 mining. So what I do here is, I'll show you here in a second. I will actually go up here, and then first I will do the work preferences. On all the Naklams, I will have just the mining available for them, okay? And on the Blazimuth, I will have the mining, but also the kindling. And then I will actually assign them to, whatever you need. So I assign 1 to the coal mine or the ore mine, 1 to the coal, okay? And then I'll just leave it like that. I use coal quite a lot for, other things. So this is what I kind of leave them. Now, I will leave the last Naklam and the Blazimuth to kind of go around between all the others. And the reason for that is, the other 2 is because that's really what I use for everything else is the ore, as you see over here. I use it for the ore. If I go over here for the palladium fragments, if you use ore, as you see over here, I have 100,000 ore. If you use 10,000 of them, you will actually get almost 5,000 of these palladium fragments. Unlike before where we had to use stone, if you use stone at 2,000, you'll only get 2,000 of this. So it doubles the amount of fragments that you get. So that's why I just use that. And I'll actually let him start working there. So that's the whole principle behind of why I use these this way. And then the last 2, this Naklam and this Blazimuth, are kind of in the role where this Naklam will just jump between stone and sulfur, and this Blazimuth will jump between whichever is open, as well as if I decide to cook something, he will have to help the birds with the kindling. So he kind of does 2 in 1, and I find that this is like the perfect setup for my base. Okay, let's move on. All right, and lastly, the transporting. Now, I know there's other pals. I just love Anubis. I know he only has a transporting 2, while there's others that have 4 and all this good stuff and blah, 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 right? There's so many different pals that have better transporting. Here's what they don't have. Anubis is really small, okay? And then if you actually condense them, he will have transporting 3, and I use 3 of them. Again, main reason is because he's small. and he never ever they never get stuck when they grab stuff to bring back to whatever box that you need it for. So this is the reason why I use them. I know there's others out there that, you know, have better transporting from 3 to 4. It's just that those damn pals are too big. The Anubis is the perfect size. Especially if you get the perfect passives on them. They will take care of your entire base when it comes to picking things up and bringing them in. On top of that, they also have, as you see right here, 4 handiwork. So I not only use them for transporting, I also use them for the handiwork. And for example, if I were to go up there with almost 200% more of what needs to be done, they can make something almost instantly for you. So again, these are the best pals that I use for my base. As you see here one more time, the Anubis is just perfect. Again, it not only do I have it transporting, but also handiwork. And then I will actually go up here, if I can escape these birds, and I will just work preferences for the Anubises, as you see right here. I just have them transporting and handiwork. That's all you really need them for. They're going to pick up everything when you're not building something, and when you're building something, they're going to go ahead and build it for you extremely fast, while also kind of keeping a base and picking everything up. As you see right here, they're picking it up and bringing all the food in there. They take care of your entire base. They will also pick up all the oil that is gathered and all that stuff and put it in your boxes where you want it. It's just amazing, guys. So let me know what you guys think. These are, again, the first episode of the pals that you can just kind of find and catch in the world. If you don't want to breed them, you really don't have to. They will do the job and keep your base functioning. In my opinion, the best pals, the way they are, without crazy breeding and, you know, condensing, these are like the best ones that you can use for your base. Let me know in the comments what you guys use. And again, pay attention to the channel for the second series when I'm going to go crazy. And just to kind of give you a quick little example, we're going to be switching to this. Just to kind of show you, I'm going to show you a little trick with the Jennies. This thing, it only has 1 electricity. I'm going to show you how to make it a 5 electricity. And this thing is never going to sleep, and it's going to be the best pal in the world. And there's actually some tests to show you that it produces the most amount of electricity once you kind of get it fixed. That was just a teaser, but you'll have to wait for that video in this upcoming week. Anyway, take care, folks, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.